Hello and welcome. Today let us start by recalling what we did yesterday. We learned that given a system with this differential equation and given the input x equal to some x1 given, and also given n number of initial conditions or boundary conditions, we know that the output will be of this form. It will have two components. One is forced response, another is the natural response, such that this forced response part will satisfy this equation ON-YF equal to input, and the natural response part will give ON-YN equal to 0. That means YN is a complementary solution of the given differential equation. That means as if Yn has 0 or no effect, but Yn is required to satisfy the initial conditions. YF, forced response, will satisfy this differential equation, and natural response will satisfy the initial conditions, and both of them together will satisfy both the differential equation and the initial conditions. Next, we have learned that we will use a general form of the input for all our purpose, which is like this: x is a polynomial multiplied by with a exponential of time. This polynomial looks like k0 plus k1t plus kntn whole multiplied by e to the power bt. So this is a n degree polynomial. This n need not be same as this n, that is the order of the system. So let me call this Pm. Okay, so here also it will go up to Km Pm. Okay, and then this general form includes these special cases of pure constant input or pure polynomial or pure exponential. And if we can solve for the output given this particular form of input, then later we will be able to handle inputs of this form Pm sin omega t, because this polynomial times sinusoidal function can be broken into two parts, Pm e to the power j omega t by 2j minus Pm e to the power minus j omega t by 2j. And the system that we are considering, that is linear, we have seen that. Therefore, if we can calculate the output for this part and for this part, then using the principle of superposition, we will be able to calculate the output for this sinusoid multiplied by polynomial input as well. Next, yesterday we took a first order system like this: dy dt minus ay equal to input, and we found that the solution looks like this. It has two parts: forced response and natural response. Natural response is given by y0 multiplied by e to the power at, and this a comes from this a, and the forced response has this form: e to the power at integration of input multiplied by e to the power minus at dt. Then if we take this particular form of the input, then this forced response can be simplified like this. So this is the form of the input. Let it be Pm, here also M and M. So this is the input, and then forced response will be a polynomial of degree m multiplied by e to the power bt, provided b and a are not equal. B is the exponent in the input and a is this coefficient in the system equation. So if this a and b are unequal, then note that forced response has a very similar form like the input. Same exponent here and here, and also polynomial, this polynomial also has the same degree like the input. Okay, but if a and b are equal, in that case the forced response will be a polynomial of degree m plus 1 multiplied by e to the power bt, same exponent as the input. Okay, and here Pm is a polynomial like this, or Pm plus 1 is another polynomial like this. However, yesterday we only said that the output, forced output, will be of this form, but exact coefficients k0 prime, k1 prime, etc., that we did not determine exactly. Okay, because we could have done that in the way we did yesterday, but that will be a slightly difficult process. Instead, we will always find these coefficients using back calculation. Okay, how, we shall see now. Let us learn this with an example. Suppose the system given is ddt minus 2y is equal to x, and x is given as, say, t plus t square whole multiplied by e to the power, say, 3t, minus 3t. Here also let me take it plus. That means we have a is equal to minus 2 here and b is equal to minus 3, which means a and b are not equal. Okay, so yf will be of this form: e to the power bt, b is minus 3t, multiplied by a polynomial with degree 2, because the polynomial in the input has degree 2. So let me write here k0 plus k1t plus k2 t square. So output will be definitely of this form. Now what will be the value of k0, k1, k2? Let us find that. We know that this equation d dt plus 2 of y equal to x will be satisfied by this yf. So this will be equal to x. X is t plus t square e to the power minus 3t. So this is the key trick, main trick, to identify that yf operated by this operator on will give input x, and then let me put the value of yf. Yf is k0 plus k1t plus k2t square, and the right side is as it is. Now let me apply this operator on this polynomial. I have missed e to the power minus 3t. Now if we apply this operation, we shall get this d dt acting on this thing plus two multiplied by the same thing. I am copying it, and this is equal to the input. Now let us do the differentiation. We shall have, if I differentiate k0 e to the power minus 3t, we will get k0 e to the power minus 3t multiplied by minus 3 plus, now differentiate k1t multiplied by e to the power minus 3t, that will give k1t e to the power minus 3t multiplied by minus 3 plus another term k1. Now we are differentiating t, so that will be 1 and then e to the power minus 3t. Now similarly you can differentiate k2t square e to the power minus 3t and you shall get this plus 2 into this term. So let me write plus 2k0 e to the power minus 3t plus 2k1t e to the power minus 3t plus 2k2t square e to the power minus 3t. This is equal to the right hand side. Now you observe that e to the power minus 3t is common everywhere. So I can take it common or eliminate it from both the sides. And then let me group the similar terms on the left side, and we shall get minus 3k0, then plus k1, then two k0. Now with t to the power 1 we have minus 3k1, then plus 2k2, and plus 2k1. And with t square we have 2k2 and minus 3k2. This is equal to t plus t square. Now equating the coefficients of both the sides, we get 2 minus 3 minus, that means minus k2, and here the coefficient of t square is equal to 1. So minus k2 is equal to 1, or k2 is equal to minus 1. Then here we have minus 3 plus 2, so minus k1 plus 2k2, that should be 1. So that means k1 is equal to 2k2 minus 1, and this is equal to minus 3. And finally minus 3 plus 2, that means minus k0 plus k1 is equal to 0. So k0 is equal to minus k1, that is plus 3. This should be plus and this should be minus. So instead of finding these coefficients k0, k1, k2, etc. Directly, we shall always do it using back calculation like we did now. Okay, after solving first order differential equations, it is our time to look into second and higher order differential equations. So in general, a differential equation of order n will look like this: dn dt n of y plus bn minus 1 dn minus 1 dtn minus 1 y plus dot 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 b1 dy dt plus b0 y is equal to x, which we can also write in this way: now we have learned how to factorize this differential operator by first writing a polynomial equation equal to 0, solve it to get the roots, say the roots are d equal to suppose a1 a2 up to an. Some of them can be repetitive, maybe a1 and a2 are equal. Then you can write this differential equation like this: d minus a1 d minus a2 then d minus an whole operating on y is equal to x. By this time you know that this is not multiplication in the usual sense, rather it means that these operators act on y one by one sequentially. Okay, now let me call this part together with y. This is equal to z. Now y is unknown, so z is also unknown, but let me just give it a name z. So we can now write d minus a1 is acting on z is equal to x. Now this is a first order differential equation, and we know how to solve a first order differential equation given x. X is the input that is given, so we can solve for z. Once we know z, then we can write from here z is equal to this, so d minus a2 then d minus a3 d minus an acting on y is equal to z. Now z is known, we have calculated it previously. So now let me define this part as a new signal, call it maybe W. Once again, D minus A2 acting on W is equal to Z, where Z is known, W is unknown, but this is a first order equation and we know how to solve it, so therefore we can solve for W. Once we know W, then we will repeat this process. We will write D minus A3 up to D minus AN acting on W is equal to Z. Now Z is known, this is Y and here W. Now W is known and you can repeat this process by taking another signal defined to be this and repeat the process until you get Y. We shall learn this strategy with some examples, but before that I would like to remind you of the general recipe of finding the output from the given differential equation input and initial conditions. So if a differential equation like this is given and the input also is given together with the initial conditions y0, y dot 0 and so on, n number of initial conditions are given, the values given are y0 equal to v0, y dot 0 equal to v1 and so on. So if this is the problem that we have to solve, then first we will find any one solution y1 which will satisfy this equation on y1 equal to x1. That means if I put y1 here and x1 here, they should satisfy this differential equation together, but without bothering about the initial conditions. The initial conditions may or may not be satisfied by y1, no worry about that. After that, we shall list all the complementary solutions y01, y02, y0n, n number of them, such that you know this operator acting on y01 gives 0, also y0n acted by this operator gives 0 and so on. And then a general solution of this differential equation can be written as a sum of this y1 plus k1 y01, k2 y02, kn y0n. So these are the complementary solutions plus this one particular solution which satisfies when y1 equal to x1. Then we will calculate the values of k1, k2, kn, all of them satisfying the given initial conditions. So these are the steps that we have mentioned previously. Now let us apply our knowledge to solve a few small examples. Suppose we have a second order differential equation which looks like this. Okay, which you can also write like this. And suppose the initial conditions are given like this: y0 is equal to 1 and y dot 0 is equal to 0. We need two initial conditions because this is a second order equation. Now the first thing we have to do is to find any solution y1 such that this differential equation is satisfied no matter whether the initial conditions are satisfied or not. So for that, let us factorize the given operator. Let me equate it to 0 and then find the roots. The roots you can find using this rule, minus 5 plus minus root over 5 square minus 4 into 1 into 6 whole divided by 2 into 1, and you shall get minus 2 and minus 3 are the roots. So we can write this differential equation as d minus minus 2, or you can make it plus d plus 3 acting on y is equal to e to the power minus 40. Now let me define this term as z. So we have d plus 2 acting on z is equal to e to the power minus 40. The input here is of the standard form, that an exponential multiplied by a polynomial. In this case, the polynomial is very trivial, it is 1. And this is a first order differential equation. So we know that the solution will look like z is equal to two parts, forced response plus natural response, where this forced response will be a polynomial multiplied by the same e to the power minus 40, And since here minus 4 and this 2 or minus 2, they are not equal, then the polynomial that we will get here will be of same degree as the polynomial in the input. Now the input polynomial is of degree 0 constant, so here also we will get some constant, call it A. Okay, or A1. And then this natural response term will look like, if you go back, it will look like y0 as y0 e to the power 80. So in this case it will be z0 e to the power minus 2t, since here a is equal to minus 2. Okay, comparing with the standard form here. Okay, now we do not know the value of z0 because the initial conditions are given in terms of y and not in terms of z, so this is not known, but we will not bother about this because in our first step we want to find one solution that satisfies the given differential equation without bothering about the initial conditions. So we shall put it equal to 0. So now we know that z will be of this form, a1 e to the power minus 4t. We are not even finding the exact value of a1 at this point. So let me write z is equal to a1 e to the power minus 4t, and z by definition is equal to d plus 3 acting on y. So we have d plus 3 acting on y is equal to a1 e to the power minus 4t. Now again this is a first order differential equation. Input is of the standard form, polynomial multiplied by exponential. So the solution will be of this form, y equal to forced response plus y0 natural response, and the forced response will be e to the power this term multiplied by a polynomial with same degree as here, that means a constant, because again minus 4 and minus 3 are not equal, therefore this constant will have same degree as this polynomial will have same degree as this polynomial, and plus y0 e to the power minus 3t, sorry, this is y0 e to the power minus 3t. Now again we can put this y0 equal to 0, because we need to get only one solution that satisfies that d plus 3 of y equal to this part, right hand side, and we need not bother about the initial condition right now. And force response alone will always satisfy the given differential equation. We do not need natural response to satisfy differential equation. We need natural response only to satisfy the boundary conditions, not to satisfy the differential equation. Okay, so y will be of this form. So call it y1, which is equal to this, and it will satisfy the given equation that d plus 3d plus 2 acting on y1 is equal to the input, which was e to the power minus 40. So that means is this, and now we have to find the value of A2 using back calculation. Okay, so let me first multiply these two terms, and we will get d square plus 5d plus 6 acting on this is e to the power minus 40. Now if you perform this operation on this e to the power minus 40, you shall get this. A2 is a constant, then second derivative of e to the power minus 40 will be minus 4 square multiplied by e to the power minus 40. Then 5 times the first derivative of e to the power minus 40 will be minus 4 multiplied by e to the power minus 40 plus 6 multiplied by e to the power minus 40, and the right hand side is as it is, and from this you can cancel these two terms. It will become 1, and A2 will therefore be 1 over this minus 4 square plus 5 into minus 4 plus 6. Okay, so in fact this will be a useful trick to remember, that whenever you have a differential equation of this form, with the input being an exponential, then you can quickly get a solution like this, e to the power bt, this input, multiplied by 1 over this polynomial evaluated with d equal to b. This is often very useful. So now we have one solution which is like this, a2 e to the power minus 40 and a2 is half. So we have got one solution which satisfies the given differential equation equal to this input Now in step 2 we will find all complementary solutions. Such that this operator acting on the complementary solution, say y0, gives 0. Now in our first class on differential equations, we have learned that such an operator will have two solutions of this form, y01 equal to e to the power minus 2t minus 2, because here we have d minus minus 2, and y02 equal to e to the power minus 3t. Then the most general solution can be written as y1 plus k1 y01 plus k2 y02, where y1 is here half e to the power minus 40 plus k1 e to the power minus 2t plus k2 e to the power minus 3t. Now finally we have to find the values of k1 and k2 using boundary conditions or initial conditions. So for that we have y equal to this, so let me put the value at t equal to 0. y0 is equal to half plus k1 plus k2 by putting t equal to 0, and this is given as 1. This is given in the question. Here, okay. Then let me differentiate this equation with respect to time, and we will get y dot t from here will be equal to half into minus 4 means minus 2 e to the power minus 40, then plus minus 2 into k1 e to the power minus 2t, then minus 3k2 e to the power minus 3t, and if I put t equal to 0, then this is minus 2 minus 2k1 minus 3k2. This is given in the question as equal to 0. So now we have two equations with two unknowns k1 and k2. We can solve for k1 and k2 from these two equations, and by solving we will get k1 equal to 3.5 and k2 equal to minus 3. So the final solution is y is equal to half e to the power minus 4t plus 3.5 e to the power minus 2t, and k2 minus 3 e to the power minus 3t. This is the final answer. One thing I forgot to mention, that if you use this rule to get a particular solution, one solution for pure exponential inputs, this will work only if the denominator is not 0. Otherwise this shortcut will not work and you have to use longer process. Now let us take another example. Suppose another second order differential equation is given with the input equal to e to the power minus 2t multiplied by this polynomial which is 2t, and boundary conditions are y0 equal to 1 and y dot 0 also equal to 1. So let us try to solve it. Let me first write this equation in this form: d square plus 3d plus 2 acting on y equal to the input, and if we factorize this we will get two roots as minus 1 and minus 2. It is easy to factorize. You can write d minus minus 1, d minus minus 2 acting on y gives this input. Now you may again solve it by first defining this term as z. Then we have d minus minus 1 acting on z is equal to 2t e to the power minus 2t, which will imply that a solution of z is given like this. Where this part will be e to the power minus 2t multiplied by a polynomial of same degree as this polynomial. This is of degree 1, so here we will have say k0 prime plus or k0 prime plus k1 prime t, a first order polynomial. And then this term will be of this form, but as before we will ignore this because we want any one solution without bothering about the initial conditions. So this term is ignored. We just need one solution to start with. Okay, and then you can write z is equal to this, so d minus 2 of y is equal to z, and z is given by this k0 plus k1 prime t e to the power minus 2t. From this you can get y or y1, any one solution we want, so we will not bother about the initial conditions. So one particular solution can always be written like this: e to the power minus 2t multiplied by a polynomial. Now this time here minus 2 and here also minus 2, they are equal, so therefore the polynomial that we will get here will be of 1 degree more than this polynomial. This is a first degree polynomial, so here we will have a second degree polynomial, k0 plus k1t plus k2t square. This is the form of one solution. Now we have to find these values of k0, k1, k2 using back calculation. Okay. So now we write d plus 2d plus 1 acting on y1, where y1 is this, should be equal to 2t e to the power minus 2t. That is the given input. Now let us first apply this operation on this signal, and we shall get d plus 2. If you carry out this operation, you will get this, and this is same as now applying this operator on this signal, you shall get the following. Now grouping the t square, t and t to the power 0 terms separately, we shall have this. Here these two terms cancel, these two terms cancel, and these two. Okay, then now comparing the coefficients from the left and right side, we have minus 2k2 equal to 2, implying k2 is equal to minus 1, and 2k2 minus k1 should be equal to 0. So k1 will be equal to 2k2, that means minus 2. And since we do not have any constraint on k0, we can choose k0 to be anything, including k0 equal to 0. Because we want somehow one solution that satisfies the differential equation. So we have got one solution. Y1 is equal to minus 2t plus minus t square multiplied by e to the power minus 2t. Now in step 2, we have to find all complementary solutions, and the given differential equation is d plus 2d plus 1 acting on y is equal to x. So the complementary solutions will be such that this operator acting on the complementary solution gives 0. It will have two complementary solutions, y01 and y02, of the form e to the power minus 2t and e to the power minus 1t. So the general solution will look like y equal to y1, where y1 is here, plus k1 y01 plus k2 y02. This is the general solution, and finally we have to find k1 and k2 using boundary conditions or initial conditions. For that, let me put t equal to 0, and then this term becomes 0. Here we have k1 plus k2, and in the question this is given to be equal to 1. Then y dot 0 we will calculate. So first let us differentiate this equation. If we differentiate this equation, we shall get from here minus 2 e to the power minus 2t, then minus 2 in t into minus 2, so that will become plus 4t e to the power minus 2t, then minus 2t e to the power minus 2t, then minus t square e to the power minus 2t multiplied by minus 2. This is what we get from the first term. Then from here, minus k1 e to the power minus t and minus k2 e to the power minus 2t. Now putting time t equal to 0, we shall get minus 2, then 0, 0, 0, here minus k1 minus 2k2, and this is given to be equal to 1, which means k1 plus 2k2 is equal to minus 3. k1 plus 2k2 equal to minus 3. Now solving these two equations together, we will get k1 equal to 5 and k2 equal to minus 4. One thing, here previously I used k1, k2, the symbols for a different purpose, for getting the particular solution, and again I have used the same symbol k1, k2 to write the general form of the solution. To distinguish this, let me put say k1 bar, k2 bar everywhere. And that's how the final solution becomes this term then plus k1 is 5 e to the power minus t, and then minus 4 k2 e to the power minus 2t. So we have solved a couple of second order differential equations, and we can also solve in a similar manner higher order differential equations. Essentially the trick was this: given the differential equation, you break down this differential operator into a product of simple first order operators, and then repeat the process of solving first order equations again and again n times, each time defining a new intermediate signal Z or W and so on. So this reminds me of a story that my mathematics teacher told us. Someday a poor man went to his rich master and asked him how to make 10,000 bucks per month or per day. The rich master asked the poor man, "How much do you earn per day?" The poor man said, "I earn only 100 bucks. Then the rich master told him, "Okay, you repeat the same process 100 times each day so that 100 multiplied by 100 becomes 10,000. Here also, if you know how to solve a first order equation, then you repeat the same process n times to solve an nth order differential equation. Thank you. In our next class, we shall learn how to solve differential equations when the input is a impulse function delta t. Okay, that will be a very important thing to learn, because if we know how to calculate output when the input is a impulse function, that means we can calculate impulse response, and that means from that we can calculate the output for any arbitrary input signal, because any arbitrary input signal can always be written as a integral or sum of time delayed delta functions. Thank you. See you tomorrow.